2025 will go down as one of the strangest economic years in recent memory. A year where almost nothing behaved the way the models predicted. And yet, everything behaved exactly the way human nature always does. Inflation eased, then spiked, then cooled again. Tariffs hit. Rates jumped in ways that baffled economists. Geopolitical events overshadowed balance sheets. And meanwhile, the privately held M&A market, the world that many of us live and breathe, felt like it was walking through mud. But here's the thing I want you to hear. Uncertainty didn't break the market. It just provided some additional clarity to it. It revealed it. What it revealed is exactly why 2026 is positioned to be a powerful comeback year for business owners who understand what this season is asking of them. So let's name what actually happened. In a confidence-driven market like privately held M&A, hesitation can be a silent killer. Deals don't die from bad numbers, they die from doubt. And man, 2025 was full of doubt. Owners weren't sure if they should hold or sell. Buyers weren't sure how to price in risk. And advisors, even the best ones, we were spending half of our time talking clients off ledges created by headlines, tariffs, but not fundamentals. So buyers hesitated, banks tightened, valuations stalled, deals hung in limbo longer than anyone liked. But it wasn't a collapse. It was a crisis of confidence. But doubt is not destiny. It's just a season. And as we all know, seasons turn. One of the biggest surprises of the year wasn't the economy, it was behavior for me. Owners who had been mentally preparing for years to exit suddenly froze. Why? Well, because transition requires stability in two places, both the market and the self. And 2025 certainly shook both. And when owners feel shaky internally, they hesitate externally. This is where I always think back to the emotional side of exit planning, the part that advisors often overlook. When the world feels unpredictable, owners cling to the one place they still feel in control. That's the business. That's why exit planning pipelines slowed even when the financials were strong this year. It wasn't about the numbers, it was about the owner's identity. Now look, three forces converged in 2025. Higher costs of capital. Banks were cautious. For most of the year, interest rates remained higher than what many of us had hoped for. Buyers recalculated every assumption. Second was the political and global instability. Elections, conflicts, regulatory shifts, all of it fed a narrative of uncertainty. And then third, emotional fatigue among owners. After surviving COVID, inflation, labor shortages, and supply chain chaos, 2025 felt like one wave too many to some of my clients. So deals slowed. Not because the businesses weren't good, but because the environment made everybody question their timing. So here's what I want to highlight. The recognition that beneath financial logic lies human meaning. Owners weren't just protecting enterprise value. They were protecting identity, stability, and a sense of control. Okay, but here's the good news, and it's not wishful thinking. The very pressures that made 2025 so frustrating are setting the stage for a great 2026. Why? Because markets run on cycles, and so do leaders. Owners spent the last year waiting, watching, reassessing, and now they're waking up to a critical truth. The perfect market is never coming, but the right moment still can. 2025 forced owners to get serious about planning, delegation, team development, and clarity of purpose. Now, those who did that internal work will be ready to move when conditions improve. And conditions are improving. Slowly, maybe it feels inconsistently, but undeniably they are improving. Here's what we're already seeing. Dry powder remains at record levels. Private equity and strategic buyers spent much of 2025 on the sidelines. They're entering 2026 hungry. A stabilizing interest rate environment, even modest predictability in interest rates, fuels deal flow. Owner fatigue is reaching a tipping point. Many who delayed in 2025 will not delay again. They're ready now. And demographics don't stop for market noise. Millions of baby boomer owners still need succession solutions. Most importantly, valuation multiples didn't collapse. They simply just paused a little bit, and that pause is ending. Now, 2026 may not be euphoric, but it will be active, especially for owners who spent 2025 strengthening their leadership teams and building transferable value. I worked with an owner last year, a second-generation CEO who had planned to sell early in 2025. When the year turned a little chaotic, he pressed pause. That momentum just stopped. But during the pause, something incredible happened. He realized his leadership team needed deeper development. Processes needed tightening up. Financial reporting needed modernization. So instead of fighting the season, he leaned into it. And by the time this fall arrived, he had a business that was more scalable, more documented, and far more attractive than it had been when the year started. The comment he made to me still sticks. The delay didn't hurt me. It just prepared me. That is exactly the power 2025 holds for those willing to learn from it. Now, if 2025 was the jolt, 2026 is the invitation. And the owners who will benefit most are the ones who respond with intention and not fear. Here's where to focus. Number one, strengthen your leadership bench. Businesses that run without the owner command higher multiples. Secondly, document your processes. Buyers pay for predictability, not personality. Third, clarify your personal purpose. Because when owners know where they're going after the exit, they lead with calm before that. Fourth, let's tighten the financial discipline. Get the books clean, have smart forecasting. Let's get those margins healthier. Those all make you more deal ready. Lastly, start conversations early. Advisors can only shape a deal if you give them time. 2025 taught us that the world can shift quickly. I predict that 2026 will reward those who are proactive, not reactive. So here's my challenge to you. Don't waste the lessons you learned in 2025. Let this strange, frustrating, unpredictable year become the catalyst for a stronger, clearer, purpose-filled 2026. If you're an owner, your next move isn't to wait passively. Your next move isn't to wait passively. It's to prepare intentionally. Build your team. Clarify your purpose. Strengthen the business. Get exit ready, even if you're not exit interested yet. Because when the market turns, and it will, opportunity favors the prepared. 2025 shook the system. 2026 will showcase the leaders who learn from that. And if you're listening to this, that leader can still be you. If you're interested in learning more about what you heard, please use the link in the description to visit the website, and you can receive the first few chapters of the book for free.